Napoleon's cavalry was not just a single weapon, but an entire arsenal, each honed for a different purpose, each with its own style, spirit, and role in battle. Types of cavalry. The cuirassiers. These were the heavyweights of Napoleonic cavalry. The cuirassiers were heavy cavalry units who could be most closely compared to the mounted armored knights of old Europe. Named after their steel breastplates, the cuirassiers were giant men covered in armor head to toe, riding the largest, most powerful horses in the army. Their mission was simple and brutal: break the enemy with pure shock. When a cuirassier regiment lowered its sabers and came on at a full gallop, the ground shook as though an earthquake had struck. They were not subtle. They were the mailed fist of the emperor. In the smoke and chaos of battle, their polished armor made them look like moving statues, implacable and unstoppable. Their equipment sometimes weighed over 100 pounds. The armor protected them from musket fire at range, giving them the nerve to close in. For the soldier in their path, they were a wall of steel and muscle, nearly impossible to stop. The carabiniers. Cousins to the cuirassiers, the carabiniers were light, heavy cavalry armed with saber and carbine, which was a handheld type of an early, large pistol. They were the first cavalrymen to be armed with firearms. The carabiniers began the wars in bearskin caps and blue coats, but later they re-emerged in tall brass helmets and crested in red breastplates of shining metal. They were the elite of the heavy cavalry, often chosen for their size and strength. Napoleon often combined his cuirassiers and carabiniers in a cavalry reserve to be used at the decisive moment of battle. They were not only a battlefield weapon, but also a spectacle. The sight of a line of carabiniers thundering forward was as terrifying as it was magnificent. If the cuirassiers were a hammer, the carabiniers were a gold-plated one. The dragoons. Dragoons were originally a class of mounted infantry who used horses for mobility but dismounted to fight on foot. From the early 17th century onward, dragoons were increasingly also employed as conventional cavalry. They trained for combat with swords and firearms. Dragoons were the most versatile cavalry arm. They fought both mounted and on foot, could charge like heavy cavalry, and also dismount to seize and hold the ground like infantry. Their green coats, crested helmets, and adaptability made them the perfect tool for an unpredictable battlefield. They could be used as shock troops one day and as scouts and rear guards the next. This flexibility earned them the nickname the chameleons among soldiers.